Welcome back. In this story we follow a couple, Emily and Daniel, through a detailed day in their life, from morning to night. This narrative not only paints a vivid picture of their relationship, but also provides a great opportunity to improve your English speaking skills. By reading and discussing each part of the story, you can practice expressing daily routines, describing emotions, and using common phrases that are essential for everyday conversations in English. As you go through the story, you'll encounter various vocabulary words that are used in natural contexts, helping you understand their meanings and how to use them in your own speaking practice. At the end of the story, I've included a list of vocabulary words along with examples. This will help you expand your vocabulary and improve your ability to describe experiences, feelings, and activities in English. Whether you're reading aloud, summarizing parts of the story, or using the vocabulary in your own sentences, this story offers a comprehensive way to enhance your English speaking skills. Keep practicing, and you'll find yourself becoming more confident and fluent in no time. A day with my husband, our perfect weekend. My name is Emily, and I'm 28 years old. I work as a graphic designer for a small, creative company that lets me explore my artistic side. My husband, Daniel, is 30 years old and works as a software engineer at a tech startup. He's brilliant with computers, always thinking of new ways to solve problems. We live in a cozy apartment in the heart of the city, where the streets are always buzzing with life. Today is Saturday, our favorite day of the week, because it's a day we get to spend entirely together. Morning, a slow start. We woke up at 7:30 a.m., the soft rays of the morning sun peeking through our bedroom curtains. The room was warm, and I could hear the distant sounds of the city waking up. I turned over to see Daniel already awake. His brown eyes filled with warmth as he smiled at me. "Good morning, love," he whispered, his voice still heavy with sleep. I smiled back, feeling the familiar comfort of his presence. We stayed in bed for a few more minutes, just talking and holding each other. I told him about the dream I had, where we were traveling through Italy, eating pasta in a small village. Daniel laughed and said he'd love to take me there someday. We often talked about our travel dreams, imagining all the places we'd visit together. Finally, we decided to get up. The first thing we did was head to the bathroom. I brushed my teeth with my minty toothpaste, while Daniel did the same next to me. We have a habit of making funny faces at each other in the mirror while brushing, which always makes us laugh. These small, silly moments are some of my favorites. After brushing, I washed my face with cold water, which helped wake me up completely. Daniel splashed some water on his face too, and we both felt refreshed. We changed out of our pajamas into comfortable clothes. Me in a pair of leggings and a loose t-shirt, and Daniel in his favorite shorts and a casual shirt. Breakfast, a shared ritual. By 8 a.m. we were in the kitchen, ready to make breakfast. Our kitchen is small but cozy, with a little window that lets in the morning light. Daniel took out the ingredients for pancakes, while I grabbed the coffee beans to start brewing our morning coffee. The smell of fresh coffee filled the kitchen, mixing with the scent of pancake batter as Daniel started cooking. We've been making breakfast together every weekend since we got married. It's our little ritual, something that connects us at the start of each day. While Daniel cooked the pancakes, I chopped some fresh fruits, strawberries, bananas, and blueberries. I arranged them on a plate, adding a sprinkle of sugar on top. The pancakes were soon ready, golden and fluffy, just the way we like them. I set the table with our favorite mugs and plates. We always use the same mugs on weekends. Mine is pink with little hearts, and Daniel's is blue with a picture of a mountain. We sat down to eat, pouring maple syrup over our pancakes and adding a side of fruit. As we ate, we talked about our plans for the day. Daniel suggested going to the park as the weather was perfect, sunny but not too hot. I agreed, and we decided to do some yoga there just like we usually do on weekends. We also talked about possibly going to a new cafe that had opened nearby. I had heard good things about their pastries, and Daniel was always up for trying new food. Yoga at the park. Connecting with nature. By 9 a.m. we were ready to head to the park. We packed our yoga mats, water bottles, and a small towel. The park is just a short walk from our apartment, and as we walked, we held hands, enjoying the peaceful morning. The park is one of my favorite places in the city. It's large and green, with tall trees that provide plenty of shade. There's a small lake in the center where ducks often swim, and you can hear the birds singing in the trees. It's a place where we can escape the hustle and bustle of city life and just be with each other. We found a quiet spot under a big oak tree and laid out our yoga mats. The grass was soft beneath our feet, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves above us. We started our yoga session with some deep breathing exercises, focusing on the rhythm of our breath. Daniel is much better at yoga than I am. He's more flexible and balanced, but he's always encouraging, never making me feel bad if I struggle with a pose. We moved through a series of stretches and poses, from downward dog to warrior pose. The yoga helped us relax, stretching out any tension from the week. I felt my body becoming more flexible, my mind more at ease. After about an hour, we finished with a short meditation, sitting cross-legged on our mats with our eyes closed, just listening to the sounds of nature around us. After yoga, we decided to take a walk around the park. We strolled along the path that winds around the lake, stopping occasionally to watch the ducks swimming. We talked about our first date, which had been in a park much like this one. It was funny to remember how nervous we had both been back then, not knowing where our relationship would lead. Now, years later, we were married, and those nervous early days felt like a lifetime ago. Late morning, a trip to the cafe. After our walk, it was almost 11 a.m., and we were ready for a little treat. We decided to visit the new cafe we had talked about earlier. It was only a short walk from the park, located on a quiet street lined with small shops and boutiques. The cafe was charming, with large windows that let in plenty of natural light. Inside, it was cozy and welcoming, with wooden tables, soft chairs, and the smell of freshly baked pastries filling the air. We found a table by the window, where we could watch the people passing by outside. Daniel ordered a cappuccino, while I opted for a latte. We also chose a few pastries to share: a buttery croissant, a chocolate muffin, and a slice of lemon cake. The pastries were as delicious as I had heard, flaky and soft with just the right amount of sweetness. We took our time, savoring each bite and sip, talking about everything and nothing. As we sat there, I noticed a young couple at a nearby table, clearly on a first date. They reminded me of us, back when we were just getting to know each other. I smiled and squeezed Daniel's hand, feeling grateful for how far we've come together. Afternoon. Grocery shopping and home again. By 12:30 p.m. we decided it was time to do our grocery shopping. We headed to the nearby supermarket, which was busy with other weekend shoppers. We grabbed a cart and started going through our shopping list, picking out fresh vegetables, fruits, and other essentials. Daniel and I enjoy grocery shopping together. It's one of those simple activities that we've turned into a fun experience. We joke around as we pick out the best apples, argue playfully over which brand of cereal to buy, and sneak a few treats into the cart. Today, we bought ingredients for the dinner we plan to cook together. Spaghetti with homemade tomato sauce, one of Daniel's favorites. On our way back home, we stopped by a flower shop. Daniel surprised me by buying a bouquet of my favorite flowers, pink peonies. He handed them to me with a smile, saying, "Just because I love you." My heart melted a little at that moment. It's the small gestures like these that remind me how lucky I am to have him in my life. When we got home, it was around 1:30 p.m. We put away the groceries, and I placed the bouquet in a vase on our kitchen table. The flowers added a beautiful touch to the room, their sweet fragrance filling the air. Lunch. A simple and satisfying meal. For lunch, we decided to keep it simple. We made sandwiches using some of the fresh ingredients we had just bought. I sliced up some tomatoes, cucumbers, and lettuce, while Daniel prepared the cheese and roasted chicken. We layered everything on slices of whole grain bread, adding a bit of mustard and mayonnaise for flavor. We sat down at the kitchen table, enjoying our lunch while talking about our plans for the rest of the day. Daniel mentioned that he had found an old box of photos in the closet, and we decided to spend the afternoon going through them. We both love looking at old pictures, reminiscing about our childhoods and the early days of our relationship. Afternoon, a walk down memory lane. After lunch, we cleared the table and made our way to the living room. Daniel brought out the box of photos he had mentioned earlier, and we sat down on the couch to go through them. The box was filled with old photographs, some from our childhoods, others from trips we had taken together over the years. We spent hours going through the photos, laughing at the funny ones, smiling at the sweet memories. There were pictures of our first vacation together, a trip to the mountains where we had gone hiking and camping. I remembered how we had gotten lost on one of the trails, but instead of panicking, we had laughed and figured it out together. Afternoon continued. Cherishing memories. As we went through the wedding photos, I felt a wave of nostalgia wash over me. The picture of Daniel slipping the ring onto my finger brought back the emotion of that day. The joy, the excitement, and the deep love that filled my heart. I looked over at Daniel, who was smiling at a photo of us dancing at the reception. "You were so beautiful that day," he said softly, turning to me. "I couldn't believe you were actually mine." "And you were so handsome," I replied, feeling a blush rise to my cheeks even now. I felt like the luckiest woman in the world. We continued sifting through the photos, finding pictures from our honeymoon in Bali. There were snapshots of us on the beach, the golden sand beneath our feet, and the clear blue ocean stretching out to the horizon. We both laughed at a photo where Daniel was trying to surf and ended up falling off the board, splashing into the water. As the afternoon wore on, we decided to put the photos away, but not before we picked out a few to frame and place around our apartment. These photos, we agreed, deserved a special place where we could see them every day. #### late afternoon. A cozy movie break. By now it was around 3 p.m. and we both felt like relaxing for a bit. Daniel suggested watching a movie, so we headed to the living room and settled onto the couch with a soft blanket. We chose an old romantic comedy we both loved, one we had watched on one of our early dates. It was the perfect mix of humor and sweetness, and it always left us feeling happy. As the movie played, we snuggled close, enjoying the warmth of each other's company. At one point, Daniel made a bowl of popcorn which we shared, tossing pieces into each other's mouths and laughing when we missed. It was moments like these, filled with simple joy and connection, that made our weekend so special. Halfway through the movie, Daniel leaned over and kissed me softly on the forehead, then on the lips. "I love spending days like this with you," he whispered, his voice full of affection. "I love it too," I replied, feeling a deep sense of contentment. "I wouldn't trade it for anything." Evening. A romantic dinner at home. As the movie ended and the afternoon sun began to dip lower in the sky, we decided to start preparing dinner. It was around 5:30 p.m., and we wanted to take our time cooking together, making it a fun and romantic experience. We moved into the kitchen where I put on some soft music, our favorite jazz playlist that always set the perfect mood. Daniel took out the ingredients for the spaghetti, and I began chopping garlic and onions for the tomato sauce. The kitchen soon filled with the aroma of sautéing garlic, making our mouths water in anticipation. As we cooked, we talked about everything from our dreams for the future to funny stories from our childhoods. Daniel shared a memory of when he tried to cook dinner for his parents as a child and ended up burning everything. We laughed so hard that I almost dropped the spoon I was using to stir the sauce. Once the spaghetti was boiling and the sauce was simmering, we set the table with our best dishes and lit a few candles for a romantic touch. I also opened a bottle of red wine that we had been saving for a special occasion. Tonight felt like the perfect time to enjoy it. By 7 p.m. dinner was ready. The spaghetti was perfectly cooked, and the tomato sauce was rich and flavorful, with just the right amount of herbs. We served ourselves generous portions and sat down to eat, clinking our wine glasses together in a toast to a wonderful day. The conversation flowed easily as we ate, with the wine adding a light, cheerful atmosphere to the meal. We talked about our plans for the next few months, perhaps a weekend getaway to the mountains or a visit to see our families. We also reminisced about our favorite trips from the past, making a mental list of places we wanted to revisit someday. Night, a walk down memory lane. After dinner, we cleaned up the kitchen together, washing the dishes and putting everything away. We worked in sync as we often did, making the chore feel less like work and more like just another part of our day together. By 8 p.m. we decided to take a walk around the neighborhood. The night was cool, and the streets were lit by the soft glow of streetlights. We strolled hand in hand, enjoying the peacefulness of the evening. As we walked, we passed by our favorite bookstore, where we had spent countless hours browsing the shelves and talking about our favorite authors. It was closed now, but just seeing it brought back happy memories. We also passed by the cafe where we had had our first date. We stopped for a moment, looking through the window at the familiar interior. "I was so nervous that day," I confessed, smiling at the memory. "I was too," Daniel admitted. "But I knew from the moment I saw you that I wanted to be with you." We continued our walk, talking about how much we had grown as a couple and how grateful we were for each other. The night air was refreshing, and the stars were just beginning to peek out from behind the clouds. Late night winding down. By 9 p.m. we returned home, feeling relaxed and happy. We decided to end the night with a little pampering session. Daniel has always been sweet about indulging in my skincare routine with me, even though it's not really his thing. But tonight he seemed eager to join in, and I was more than happy to share it with him. We went to the bathroom and started with a facial mask. I applied a hydrating mask on his face, and he did the same for me. We looked at each other and burst out laughing. It was hard to take ourselves seriously with the masks on. While we waited for the masks to do their magic, we sat on the bed, scrolling through photos on our phones, sharing memories of vacations, celebrations, and silly moments that made us laugh. After about 20 minutes, we washed off the masks and completed the rest of our skincare routine together. Toner, serum, moisturizer. Daniel pretended to be an expert, mimicking the way I applied each product, which made me giggle. By 10 p.m. we were ready for bed. We changed into our pajamas and crawled under the covers, feeling cozy and content. But before we fell asleep, we spent a few minutes just talking about our day, reflecting on how much we enjoyed every moment of it. Daniel wrapped his arm around me, pulling me close. "Today was perfect," he murmured, his voice soft and sleepy. "It really was," I agreed, snuggling into his chest. "I love you so much, Daniel." "I love you too, Emily. More than anything." With that, we drifted off to sleep, our hearts full, knowing that we had created yet another day of beautiful memories together. This version of the story dives deeper into Emily and Daniel's day, adding more layers of their relationship, their shared history, and the small, intimate moments that define their love. I hope you liked it. Here are some vocabulary words and phrases from the story, along with examples to help you understand how they're used. 1. Nostalgia. Meaning: a sentimental longing for the past. Example: as we went through the wedding photos, I felt a wave of nostalgia wash over me. 2. Snuggle. Meaning: to settle or move into a warm, comfortable position. Example: as the movie played, we snuggled close, enjoying the warmth of each other's company. 3. Affection. Meaning: a feeling of liking or love and caring. Example: he kissed me softly on the forehead, then on the lips, his voice full of affection. 4. Savor. Meaning: to enjoy something slowly, especially food, to appreciate it fully. Example: we savored each bite of the spaghetti, enjoying the rich flavor of the tomato sauce. 5. Pampering. Meaning: treating someone with extra care and attention. Example: we decided to end the night with a little pampering session, applying facial masks and following our skincare routine. 6. Reminisce. Meaning: to talk or think about past experiences that you remember with pleasure. Example: we talked about our plans and reminisced about our favorite trips from the past. 7. Contentment. Meaning: a state of happiness and satisfaction. Example: I felt a deep sense of contentment as we spent time together. Indulge. Meaning: to allow oneself to enjoy the pleasure of something. Example: Daniel has always been sweet about indulging in my skincare routine with me, even though it's not really his thing. 9. Sync. Meaning: working together in harmony. Synchronized. Example: we worked in sync, making the chore feel less like work. Glimpse. Meaning: a brief or quick view or look. Example: we passed by the cafe where we had had our first date, stopping for a moment to catch a glimpse through the window.